Pastor Gideon stood before the congregation of Endless Grace Ministry, voice commanding, "The Lord has promised us miracles today," he declared, his words sweeping across the eager faces of his members. "Are you ready to receive his blessing?" The congregation shouted, "Amen!" Members clinged to their hope, desperate for healing, prosperity, or a way out of their troubles. Pastor Gideon was the answer, a man of God who, according to his claim, could summon divine miracles. But Gideon's miracle did not come from God. Late at night, when the world was asleep, Gideon would drive to the outskirts of town, where an ancient forest stretched into the darkness. Hidden deep within the forest was a forbidden shrine, a place feared by locals and long abandoned by time. The shrine was dedicated to Nasa, the goddess of the snake, an ancient deity known for her dark and mysterious powers. Gideon knelt before the serpent statues, its eyes glittering in the moonlight. Around the statues were offerings. "Great Nasa," Gideon whispered, his voice trembling, "I have come for your power once again. The people are hungry for miracles, and I must deliver." The statues seemed to hiss, though no wind stirred the tree. The air grew cold, and the shadow thickened around him. A voice smoothly slid into his ear. "You dare return to me, mortal? What will you offer this time in exchange for my gifts?" Gideon swallowed hard, pulling a locket from his pocket. Inside was a photo of a child, a token he had secretly taken from a grieving mother during a prayer session. "Yeah, great Nasa, a token of faith from a soul who believes in your power." The statue's eye glowed brighter, and the ground beneath Gideon trembled. "You will have my power," the goddess said. "But remember, my miracle comes at a price. Fail to bring me what I demand, and you will taste my wrath." "I understand," Gideon murmured, bowing his head. "I will not fail you." Sunday came, and Gideon was ready. He called for a young woman named Clara to come forward. Clara had been blind since birth, and her parents had spent everything they had trying to find a cure. They believed Pastor Gideon was their last hope. Gideon placed his hand on Clara's head, his voice raising in a powerful prayer. "Heavenly Father, restore our sight. Let us see the beauty of your creation." As he spoke, a strange energy coursed through his veins. A dark serpentine force that was none of this world crept into Clara's eyes, making her blink and then cry out. "I can see!" she exclaimed, tears streaming down her face. "I can see everything." The crowd erupted in cheers, falling to their knees and shouting praises. Gideon stood tall, backing in the adoration, but deep down, he knew the price for this miracle had yet to be paid. Among the crowd sat a young boy named Ike. Unlike the others, Ike wasn't memorized by Gideon's performance. His father had died mysteriously after attending one of the pastor's private deliverance sessions, and Ike had been searching for answers ever since. That night, as Gideon left the church, Ike followed him. He stayed at a distance, careful not to be seen. When Gideon entered the forest, Ike hesitated, fear clouding at his heart, but his determination won out, and he crept through the tree, following the dim glow of Gideon's step. Ike hid behind a bush as Gideon approached the shrine. He watched in horror as the pastor knelt before the serpent statues and began to speak in a strange language. The statue's eyes glowed and the hair grew heavy. Ike could hear the voice of the goddess, though it chilled him to the bone. "You grow bold, Gideon," the goddess said, "but beware, you owe me much, and my patience is running out." Ike's heart pounded as he realized the truth. Pastor Gideon was not a man of God. He was a servant of something far darker. Ike returned home, his mind racing. He had to warn the town, but who will believe him? Gideon was loved and reserved. No one would suspect that the miracle they celebrated came from the dark power of the snake goddess. Meanwhile, Gideon's world began to unveil. Strange things started happening around him. Objects moving on their own, shadows lingering in places they should not, and whispers that only he could hear. The goddess' power was growing, and her demand was becoming impossible to ignore. As Ike began digging deeper into Gideon's past, he uncovered secrets that could destroy the pastor and the goddess he served. But the closer Ike got to the truth, the more dangerous his quest became. The next morning, Ike sat at his desk with a sack of old newspaper and a notebook filled with his father's notes. In one of the newspapers, Ike found a small article about a preacher in a neighboring town who had vanished after a series of mysterious deaths in his congregation. The article mentioned strange rituals and sighting of a snake-like figure in the wood. The preacher's name wasn't Gideon, but back then he had gone by another name, Elijah. Ike's stomach chilled. "He's been doing this for years," he whispered. As he read further, a knock at the door startled him. Ike quickly shoved the paper under his bed and opened the door. It was Marian, his best friend. "I have been calling you all morning," she said, stepping inside. "What is going on?" Ike hesitated, unsure if he should tell her, but Marian's sharp eyes told him she would not let it go. "It's about Pastor Gideon," he finally said. "He's not who we think he is. He's using black magic." Marian's eyebrows shone up. "Black magic? Are you sure?" Ike nodded, pulling out the newspaper. "I followed him last night. He goes into the forest to this white shrine. He's praying to a goddess, something to do with snake." Marian's face peeled as she scanned the article. "This is insane. If this is true, we have to do something." "I know," Ike said, "but how? Everyone loves him. They will never believe us." Marian thought for a moment. "What if we catch him in the act? Get proof." Ike's heart raised. "You mean go back to the shrine?" Marian nodded. "It is the only way. We need evidence, or no one will listen to us." That night, the two of them sneaked out and made their way to the forest. The moonlight barely pierced through the thick canopy of trees, and every leaf made Ike jump. "Are you sure about this?" he whispered. "No," Marian admitted, "but we don't have a choice." They reached the shrine just as Gideon arrived. They hid behind a cluster of rock and watched as he lighted the candle around the serpent statues. "Great Nasa," Gideon began, his voice low and trembling. "I have fulfilled my part. The miracle I performed today have brought more believers. Now I ask for more power." Mary's eyes glowed brightly, and the goddess' voice eased through the air. "Power you shall have," she said, "but your offering have been insufficient. The cost grow higher. Gideon, you know what I demand." Gideon's face went pale. "Please, great Nasa, give me more time." The goddess' voice grew louder. "No more delay. You must bring me a soul, a pure soul. Faith, and I will take you instant. Ike's breath caught in his throat. He turned to Miriam, his eyes wide. He's going to sacrifice someone. Miriam's face was set with determination. We cannot let that happen. But as they turned to leave, Ike's foot slipped on a loose rock, sending it on tumbling down the slope. Gideon's head snapped towards the noise. Who is there? Ike and Miriam frozen, their heart pounding. You cannot hide from me, he said, his voice cold. Come out or you will regret it. Ike's mind raced. We will not let him catch us. Not yet, not now. But before they could move, a shadow passed them, faster than anything they had ever seen. The voice of the goddess eased through the air once more. You have been watched, Gideon. Deal with it, or I will. Gideon's face twisted with fear. He turned back to the shrine and knelt before the statues. I will handle it, great Nasa, I swear. Taking advantage of the distraction, Ike and Miriam used the opportunity to run as fast as their leg could carry them. When they finally reached the safety of the town, Ike doubled over, trying to catch his breath. We have to stop him, Miriam said, her voice trembling but firm. Ike nodded. But we need more than just the two of us. We need help. The next day, Ike and Miriam confided in Clara, the girl Gideon had healed. At first, Clara did not believe them. But when Ike mentioned the shrine and the serpent goddess, Clara froze. I have seen her, Clara whispered. In my dreams, ever since that day, I have been seeing snakes everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I'm being watched. Ike and Miriam exchanged a look. We need you, Clara, Miriam said. If we work together, we can expose him. Clara hesitated. They nodded. I will help, but we need to be very careful. If he finds out what we are doing, Ike did not let her finish. We will be ready. But none of them could have imagined just how dangerous Gideon and the goddess he served would become. Ike, Miriam, and Clara spent the next week gathering evidence. They sneaked into Gideon's office, found hidden files showing unexplained expenses, and discovered personal items from congregation that belongs to members. Items that Gideon had stolen from his dark ritual. They even managed to record him doing one of his secret visits to the shrine. But the more they uncover, the more dangerous their mission becomes. Strange things began happening. Miriam's house caught fire mysteriously one night, though she and her family escaped unharmed. Clara fell ill, plagued by visions of snakes and a voice calling her to the shrine. Ike felt watched wherever he went, as if invisible eyes were always on him. One night, as the three of them planned their next move, Clara cried out, I cannot breathe. Ike and Miriam rushed to her. Clara's eyes rolled back and her body weakened. The goddess, she is calling me, Clara whispered, her voice barely audible. She wants me. No, Ike said, shaking her. You are stronger than this. We are going to stop her. But Clara's body went limp and started breathing slow. The goddess' demand grew more brutal. He has not yet delivered the pure soul she required, and her wrath was becoming unbearable. The shadow in his home grew darkened. The whisper louder. One night, the goddess appeared to him, not as a voice, but as a towering snake, like a figure with the glowing eyes. You are out of time, Gideon, she said. Deliver the soul or face the eternal pit. Gideon dropped to his knee. Please, NASA, just one more chance. I will find the soul you need. The next day, Ike, Mariam, and a pea-wicking Clara stood before the congregation, ready to reveal the truth. Ike held the recording device in his hand. As Gideon began to preach, Ike interrupted. Pastor Gideon is a fraud, he shouted, his voice shaking but determined. The congregation paused. Gideon froze, his eyes narrowing. Ike, my boy, what are you talking about? You have been lying to everyone, Ike said. Your miracle comes from black magic, from a snake goddess. We have proof. Mariam held up the stolen item they had found in his office. Clara played the recording where Gideon was pleading with NASA for power. The church erupted into chaos. People shouted, some in disbelief, others in anger. Gideon tried to regain control, but the tide had turned against him. You don't understand. I did this for all of you. The miracles, the healing, they were real. But at what cost? Ike shouted back. Gideon's face twisted with rage. You have ruined everything. He grew. Suddenly, the air grew heavy. The candle around the church flickered, and a low, hissing sound filled the room. No, Gideon whispered to himself, his face peeling. Not yet, not now. The statues of the serpent goddess, hidden in a secret chamber beneath the pulpit, began to glow. The wall cracked, and the floor beneath Gideon's feet opened. A figure emerged, a monstrous snake with a glowing eyes. The congregation screamed and scrambled to flee, but the door slammed shut. You have failed me, Gideon, the goddess said, her voice shaking the wall, and now you will pay the price. Gideon fell to his knees. Please, great NASA, I can still deliver the soul. Take them. He pointed at Ike, Mariam, and Clara. The goddess turned her glowing eyes on the children. That soul burned brighter than yours, Gideon, but it is you who owns me. The goddess lunged at Gideon, wrapping a massive coil around him. He screamed, his body twisting as the shadows swallowed him whole. The room fell silent. The door burst open, and the congregation fled into the night, their cry echoing through the street. Ike, Mariam, and Clara stood frozen, staring at the empty spot where Gideon had been. The statues of the goddess crumbled to dust, and the oppressive air lifted. Weeks later, the church was abandoned. The congregation disbanded, too afraid to speak of what they had witnessed. Ike, Mariam, and Clara have saved the members, and the whole city celebrated their courage, their boldness, and resilience in the face of fear, but the memories never left them. Ike later wrote about the orderly in his diary. The cost of the truth was too high. Gideon paid with a soul, but we paid with our innocence. Something are better left buried. To you, my viewer and audience, know that deception, greed, and resilience on dark power come at a high price. Gideon's betrayal of trust and willingness to exploit his follower for personal gain not only destroy him, but also harm innocent lives. True miracles and blessings cannot come from deceit. Additionally, the story warned against blind faith and emphasized the importance of questioning and seeking the truth. Thanks for watching my video, and please let me know in the comment section how one can differentiate real prophet from fake prophet. Please, with love, kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video, share the video to your loved ones, and turn on your notification bell to be updated and notified with interesting and engaging video. Bye for now and see you next time.